Birthdays, bills, appointments, passwords. I didn't write them down. Not right away. I just kept them. My phone stayed on the counter, face down. I didn't check it. I didn't need to. I already knew what would be forgotten if I didn't remember it. The kitchen light was already on when I walked in. Soft, not bright, just enough to see the counter. The planner was open where I left it, pen resting across the page, coffee beside it, still warm. I moved past the sink, reached for the pen first. Not the mug, not the fridge, the pen. Monday, already filled. Tuesday, mostly full. Wednesday, tight. Boxes stacked close together, no space between. I added one more note in the corner, smaller handwriting, fitting it in. The coffee cooled beside me. I didn't drink it yet. My phone buzzed once, then stopped. I didn't turn it over. I wrote, "Call school, confirm showing, pick up dry cleaning." I didn't pause to think about them. They were already there. From down the hall, a door opened. Footsteps. Then another. The house starting. "Do we have anything after school?" I answered before he finished asking. "Soccer at 4. A pause. Then, "Right." I didn't look up, just kept writing. Another voice. "Where's my—" "By the door." I didn't turn this time. A chair pulled back. Footsteps again. Something dropped lightly against the floor. I stood, walked over, picked it up, set it back where it belonged. No one asked. I didn't say anything. Back at the counter, I turned the page slightly, adjusted the angle. The pen moved again. My coffee had cooled just enough. I picked it up. The small chip met my lip, right where it always did. I didn't think about it, just turned the mug slightly so it wouldn't catch. The motion happened the same way every morning. From the hallway, "Did you?" "Yes." I didn't wait for the rest of the question, because I already knew what it would be. The front door opened, closed, another, then quiet again. The house reset, back to still. I stood there a second longer, the planner open, the pen still in my hand. There was nothing missing. Morning, afternoon, evening. Everything had a place. I set the pen down, then picked it up again. Added one more thing in the margin, just in case. My phone buzzed again, short, then still. I turned it over this time. Quick glance. Work message. I typed back without sitting down. On it, sent. The screen went dark. I set it down. The kitchen stayed quiet, the light steady, the counter clear. Everything where it should be. I rinsed the mug, set it upside down, next to the sink. The towel folded beside it, then left it. From the window, morning light started to come in, thin, across the floor. I glanced at the planner again. Didn't need to, but did anyway. Nothing had changed. I closed it halfway, then opened it again, just to check. Still the same. I placed the pen back exactly where it had been, across the page. Not rolling, not angled, just still. My phone didn't move. The house didn't ask for anything. The day hadn't started yet, but I already knew what it would need. The house was already quiet by the time I got to the car. The front door closed behind me, soft. I didn't lock it right away. Stood there a second, then pressed the button. The driveway still held a little bit of morning, light just starting to spread across the concrete. I opened the car door, set my bag on the passenger seat. The strap slipped off my shoulder, left a faint line on my skin. I didn't rub it, just sat down. The engine didn't start yet. My hands rested on the wheel. Still. I already knew what it was. I started the car. The screen lit up. Calendar first. Always calendar. Blue blocks. Green blocks. Stacked tight. No space between. I scanned it once, then pulled out. The streets were already moving. Cars turning, stopping, going again. The same pattern, every morning. At the first light, my phone buzzed again. Short, then still. I moved forward. The house for the showing sat on a quiet street. White siding, front door freshly painted. The key sat in the lockbox where it always did. I opened it. The door gave easily. The air inside was still. I stepped in, set my bag down on the counter. The kitchen looked almost ready. Almost. I moved through the rooms without thinking. Opened the blinds, adjusted the pillows, straightened the chairs. A frame on the wall tilted slightly to the left. I fixed it, then stepped back. Looked again. Straight. The light shifted as I opened the last blind, soft across the floor. I stood there a second longer, then moved on. By the time the clients arrived, everything felt settled, like it had always been that way. Wow, it looks great, I smiled. Thank you. We walked through the rooms. I spoke where needed, paused where not, answered before they asked when I already knew. They stopped in the kitchen, ran a hand along the counter. Did you already confirm the inspection timeline? Yes. A small nod. Great. We moved on. At the door, she turned back slightly. Thank you for remembering that. I smiled again, because I did. I remembered everything they needed before they needed it. I walked them out, watched their car pull away slowly. The street went quiet again. I stood at the door a second longer, then stepped back inside. The house held its shape. Nothing moved, nothing out of place. I walked through once more, checked the blinds, the pillows, the chairs. Everything still aligned. Work message, another showing, different address. I typed back. On my way. Sent. The screen went dark. I set it down in the same place. For a second, I didn't move. The house stayed quiet, the air still, the light unchanged. I looked around once more, room to room, nothing missing. I picked up my bag. The strap slid back into the same place on my shoulder. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me. The lock clicked, soft. In the car, I didn't start the engine right away this time. I turned it over, face down, set it on the seat. For a second, I couldn't remember the last time someone had remembered something for me. Not something big, just something small. The thought didn't stay. It moved past before it settled. I started the car, pulled away from the curb. The next house waited, the next set of details, the next list already forming before I got there. The second showing ended early. They said they needed time to think. I nodded, of course. The house emptied quickly. Footsteps, door, then quiet again. I stood in the kitchen. The counter clean, nothing left behind. My bag rested near the sink, my phone beside it, screen dark. I didn't reach for it. The clock on the wall ticked once, then again. I looked at it, then looked away. There was still time before the next showing. I knew that before I checked. Calendar open. A gap. 30 minutes. Small, but there. I stared at it a second longer than I needed to, then closed it. The house stayed quiet. I moved to the counter, rested my hand there, flat, then lifted it, then stepped back. The room felt too quiet for a moment. Not empty, just paused. I picked up my bag, walked toward the door, stopped, turned back, walked to the counter again, checked the phone, unlocked it. Slack, calendar, nothing new. I locked it again, set it down, same place, then left. The car was warm now, sun higher, light stronger across the windshield. I sat down, hands on the wheel, still. I looked at the clock, then away. For a second, I tried to remember what I hadn't done yet. School, confirmed. Showing, done. Call, sent. Nothing missing. I started the engine. The next house was closer, a short drive. I glanced at it, didn't pick it up. The car moved forward. The street narrowed, trees closer together, shadows across the road. The house sat halfway down. Blue door, steps slightly uneven. I parked, turned off the engine. Didn't move right away. The quiet inside the car felt different now. Not full, not empty, just there. Then the moment passed. I opened the door, stepped out. The air outside felt warmer than before. I walked to the lockbox, entered the code. The key dropped into my hand. Familiar. Easy. I opened the door, stepped inside. The house held the same stillness as the one before. I set my bag down, walked into the living room. The couch angled slightly off. I adjusted it, then stepped back. Looked again. Straight. I moved into the kitchen, checked the counters, the sink, the light. Everything in place. I stood there a second longer, then reached for the blinds, opened them. Light came in, soft, across the floor. I watched it settle, then turned away. The showing would start soon. The next set of questions, the next set of answers. I already knew what they would be. The clients hadn't arrived yet. The house stayed still. Light across the floor. Nothing moving. I stood in the kitchen, the counter clear, my bag near the edge, my phone beside it, screen dark. I picked it up, opened the calendar again. The same blocks, the same order, the same small gap earlier in the day. I stared at it, a second longer this time, then closed it, set the phone down, aligned with the edge. I turned toward the planner inside my bag, pulled it out, set it on the counter, opened it. The pages were already full. I held the pen, waited. There was nothing to write, but her hand didn't move, like something was missing that didn't have a name. Tight, neat, everything in place. I ran my finger down the list, line by line. Morning, afternoon, evening. Nothing missing. I picked up the pen, hovered over the page, waited. There was nothing to add, but my hand stayed there like something should be. I lowered the pen, closed the planner halfway, then opened it again. From the front door, a soft knock. I closed the planner, then walked to the door. Hi. Hi. We stepped inside. I moved ahead of them, into the living room. The light here is really nice in the afternoon. They nodded, walked slowly, looking. I watched their steps, adjusted mine to match. They paused in the hallway. I stopped before they did. Is there storage upstairs? Yes. I turned before they asked the next question, led them toward the stairs. Each answer already there before it was needed. We moved through the house, room to room. Everything smooth, everything easy, nothing out of place. At the end, they stood near the door, talking quietly to each other. I stepped back, gave them space, didn't listen, didn't need to. I already knew what they would ask next. Can we schedule a second look? Of course. I didn't write it down. Not yet. I would remember. They left. The door closed. The house returned to stillness again. I stood in the entryway, a second longer, then turned back into the kitchen. The planner still on the counter, closed now, my phone beside it. I picked up the pen again, opened the planner, wrote, second showing, Thursday. The handwriting looked the same as everything else, even, controlled. I stared at it a second longer, then traced over one word, not because it was wrong, just to make it clearer. The ink darkened slightly. I stopped, because the handwriting already looked familiar. I closed the planner, set the pen across it, perfectly straight. My phone buzzed, short. I picked it up this time. Quick glance. Work again. I responded without sitting down. Sent. The screen went dark. I set it down next to the planner, then stepped back. The room stayed quiet. The light hadn't moved much, still across the floor. Nothing else to fix, nothing else to adjust. I stood there, looking at the counter, then not looking. My hand rested lightly against the surface, flat, then lifted. I picked up my bag, slipped the strap over my shoulder. The weight settled in the same place, familiar. I walked toward the door, stopped, turned back, walked to the counter again, checked the planner, didn't open it, checked the phone, didn't unlock it, just looked, then left. The car was warmer now. The air settled quickly around me. I set my bag on the passenger seat. The planner slid slightly inside it. I noticed, then stopped, let it stay where it was. The engine started, the screen lit up. Calendar again, same blocks, same order, no space between. I didn't scroll this time, just looked, then drove. Traffic moved slower now. Midday, not rushed, not empty, just steady. At a light, then still. I already knew what it was. The light turned green. I moved forward. The next house wasn't ready yet. I parked down the street, turned off the engine. The car went quiet. I stayed there, hands resting lightly on the wheel. I picked it up, unlocked it. Slack. A quick change. Time pushed. I typed, got it. Sent. The screen stayed on for a second, then dimmed, then dark. I set the phone down, face down, on the seat beside me. For a moment, I didn't move. The street outside stayed quiet. A car passed, then nothing. I looked ahead, then down, then ahead again. I reached into my bag, pulled out the planner, set it on my lap, opened it. The pages felt familiar, the weight of them, the way they opened to the same place. I ran my finger down the list, line by line. Everything already accounted for. I picked up the pen, hovered over the page, waited. There was nothing to add. Still, I closed the planner, set it back in the bag. Didn't adjust it this time. My phone buzzed again. Short. I didn't reach for it. I leaned back slightly. The seat pressed into my shoulders, then settled. The car held its quiet, even, complete. From the house ahead, a door opened. Voices. Then closed again. I checked the time. Still early. I waited. My hand rested on my lap, then moved, then still. A car pulled into the driveway. The client. I picked up my bag, stepped out. The air outside felt warmer than before. Still, heavy. I walked to the house, met them at the door. Hi. Hi. We stepped inside. The space was smaller than the last, closer, more contained. I moved ahead of them, opened the blinds, adjusted the chairs, straightened the rug. One corner stayed slightly off. I noticed, left it, walked past, then stopped, turned back, fixed it, stepped away again. The room settled. We moved through the house, kitchen, hallway, bedroom. They asked questions. I answered before they finished. Is there? Yes. Do you know if? I checked that this morning. A small nod. Great. We moved on. At the counter, one of them set down a folder, slightly angled. I looked at it. Didn't move it. My hand stayed there a second longer, then lifted. We finished in the living room. They spoke quietly to each other. I stepped back, gave space. Didn't listen. Didn't need to. I already knew what they would say. Can we think about it? Of course. We walked to the door. They left. The house closed behind them. The quiet returned. I stood in the entryway, a second longer, then walked back into the kitchen. The counter still straight. The folder still aligned. I picked it up, moved it slightly to the side, then stopped, left it. I didn't pick it up. I already knew. I stood there, hand resting lightly on the counter, flat, then lifting. Nothing else to fix, nothing else to adjust. The room held, the same way it had before I arrived. I picked up my bag, slipped the strap over my shoulder. The weight settled again. Same place. I walked to the door, opened it, stepped outside, closed it behind me. The lock clicked. Soft. In the car, I sat for a moment longer before starting the engine. My phone buzzed again. I didn't pick it up. By the time I got home, the house was already in motion. The front door opened, closed behind me. Voices from the kitchen, cabinets opening, a drawer sliding shut. I stepped inside, set my bag near the counter. The strap slipped off my shoulder, fell into the same place it always did. I didn't pick it up right away. From the table, Did you get the email? Yes. I hadn't checked it yet, but I knew what it was. A chair scraped lightly against the floor. I already did it. I looked up. My son stood near the counter, holding something small in his hand. I found it. A pause. I nodded. Good. He set it down, moved past me. The moment passed quickly, like it should. I turned toward the counter. The mail sat in a small stack. Bills, envelopes, one slightly off from the rest. I reached for it, stopped, left it, then picked it up anyway, aligned the edges, tapped them once against the counter, set them down, even, flat. The kitchen held its rhythm, water running, a cabinet closing, footsteps moving past. I stood there, a second longer. No one asked me anything. No one waited. From the stove, something started to boil. A lid shifted slightly, steam rising. I got it. My husband moved ahead of me, turned the knob, lowered the heat. The sound settled. I watched him. Not long, just enough. He didn't look back, didn't ask, just moved on. I stepped closer to the counter. My hand rested near the edge, then lifted. The planner stayed in my bag. I didn't take it out. Screen lighting briefly. I glanced at it, didn't pick it up. For a second, I didn't move. The kitchen kept going. Voices, small movements, the sound of something being set down. I looked at the mail again, already straight, nothing to fix. From behind me, "Where's the... in the drawer?" I didn't turn. A pause. Got it. The drawer opened, closed. I stayed where I was. My hand rested lightly on the counter, flat, then lifted. I walked toward the hallway, past the living room. The couch held its shape, a blanket folded at one end, the TV on, low. No one sitting there. I paused, then kept walking, into my office. The chair still pulled out slightly, the laptop closed. I stepped inside, set my bag down. The planner inside it shifted. I heard it, didn't reach for it. The room stayed quiet. The door behind me remained open. Voices from the kitchen still moving through the house. I stood there, not sitting, not opening anything, just standing, for a second longer. Then I stepped back out, into the hallway again. The house hadn't changed. The same sounds, the same movement, but something in it didn't move the way it used to. I walked back to the kitchen, the counter still clear, the mail aligned, the phone resting beside it. No one looking at it. No one waiting for me. I stood there, a second longer, then reached for a glass, filled it halfway, set it down, didn't drink, just left it there. The water settled, surface still. I already knew. The house kept moving, without asking, without waiting, and I stood in it a second longer before moving again. The kitchen cleared slowly. One chair pushed in, another left slightly out. A glass near the sink, half full. I noticed it, didn't move it. My phone buzzed once on the counter, screen lighting briefly, then dark again. I didn't pick it up. From the hallway, a door closed, soft, then quiet. I stood there, my hand resting lightly against the counter, then lifting, then still. The planner stayed in my bag. I could feel where it was, without looking, without opening it. For a second, I tried to remember what still needed to be done. Dinner, handled. Emails, answered. Showing, finished. Nothing waiting. Still nothing. I looked at it, knew what it was, didn't pick it up. For a second, I forgot why I always did. My hand moved slightly, then stopped, stayed there, between reaching and not, then lowered, back to the counter. The glass of water hadn't moved, the surface still. I picked it up, took a small sip, set it back down. I didn't adjust it, just left it. From the living room, the TV shifted in volume, then settled. A voice, then another, then nothing. I walked toward the hallway, my steps slower now, not measured, just slower. My office door still open, light spilling out. I passed it, didn't go in. The hallway light stayed on, soft, even. I stopped, not fully, just enough to feel where I was. The carpet under my feet felt the same. Nothing different, nothing new. From inside the house, no one called my name. No one needed anything. I stood there a second longer, then walked back into the kitchen. The counter unchanged, the glass still there, the phone beside it, face down, still. I picked up the phone, turned it over, looked at the screen. Slack, calendar, notifications. I knew what they said before opening them. I locked it again, set it down, face down. I leaned lightly against the counter, my hip pressing into the edge. The pressure stayed, then eased. For a moment, I didn't move. The house kept going, room to room, sound to silence. The same pattern, the same rhythm. But I wasn't moving with it, not the way I had been. I walked to the sink, turned the faucet on, then off again, without using it. The sound filled the space, then disappeared. I dried my hands, even though they weren't wet, folded the towel, set it down, aligned with the edge, then shifted it slightly. Off, not straight. I noticed, didn't fix it. My hand stayed there, then lifted. From the hallway, nothing. No footsteps, no voices, just the house holding its shape. I stepped back, looked at the counter, the glass, the phone, the towel, the small things, all in place, or almost. I didn't change anything. For a second, I forgot what I usually did next. Not because there was nothing, but because nothing was asking. I stood there. A second longer, then moved again. The afternoon light shifted across the kitchen floor, not brighter, just softer, edges less defined. I stood near the counter, the glass still there, the phone beside it, the towel slightly off. Nothing had been touched. I reached for my bag, pulled the planner out, set it on the counter, opened it. The pages looked the same as they had that morning. Full, tight, every space used. I turned one page, then another. Different day, same pattern. I picked up the pen, held it above the paper, waited. There was nothing to add, but my hand stayed there like something should be. The pen hovered, still. I didn't write. I didn't lower it, just held it there for a second, then another. The kitchen stayed quiet. From somewhere in the house, a cabinet closed, soft, then nothing. My hand lowered slowly. The pen touched the page. I drew a small line in the margin. No reason, just a line. I stopped, looked at it. It didn't change anything. I closed the planner, left the pen resting across it, not perfectly straight. I noticed, didn't fix it. My phone buzzed once, then stopped. I didn't pick it up. I didn't turn it over, just left it. The glass of water had a faint ring beneath it now. I lifted it, wiped the surface once with the edge of the towel, set the glass back down. Not in the same place, closer to the center. I didn't adjust it. From the hallway, a voice, low, then gone. I didn't turn toward it. I already knew what it was. I walked to the fridge, opened it. The light came on. White, flat. Shelves the same, containers, nothing out of place. I didn't reach for anything, just stood there, then closed it. The kitchen dimmed again. I stayed where I was, my hand resting lightly against the counter, flat, then lifting, then still. The planner sat closed, the phone face down, the glass near the center. Everything in place, nothing needing anything. For a moment, I waited, not for a sound, not for a task, just waited. But nothing came. My hand moved slightly, then stopped. There was nowhere for it to go. I stepped back, looked at the counter, then away. The afternoon held, even, quiet. I didn't open the planner again. I didn't pick up the phone. I just stood there a second longer before moving again. The hallway looked the same as it had that morning. Same light, same carpet, same doors. My office door still open, light spilling out, soft across the floor. His door still closed, the same thin line underneath. I stepped into the hallway, slower than before. Not measured, just slower. The light from my room stopped short of his door, fading before it reached. I noticed it this time, the way it held, the way it didn't move even when I did. I stopped, not in the center, closer to his side, my hands at my sides. Still. From inside, nothing. No voice, no chair, no typing. Just quiet. The kind that doesn't shift when you listen for it. I stood there, not waiting, not expecting, just there. My hand moved slightly, then stopped. Didn't lift, didn't reach. Just closer than before. The door didn't change. The light underneath didn't flicker. Nothing opened. Nothing responded. I looked at it, then at the floor, then back again, the same all day. I didn't think about earlier, didn't replay anything, just stood there. For a moment, it felt like I already knew what was on the other side. Not because I had seen it, not because I had opened the door, just because nothing had changed. My hand stayed where it was, Still, no hesitation, no lift. I stepped back, one step, then another, turned, walked into the kitchen. The counter looked the same, the planner closed, the phone beside it, the glass near the center. Nothing moved, nothing adjusted. I stepped closer. My hand rested lightly on the counter, flat, then lifted. I picked up the planner, held it, didn't open it, just held it. Then set it down again, not in the same place, a little farther back. I didn't adjust it. My phone stayed where it was, face down, still. No buzz, no light. I didn't reach for it. The refrigerator hummed, low, steady, then clicked, then quiet again. From the hallway, nothing. No movement, no voice, just the same door, closed. I walked past it, didn't slow, didn't look down, just past, into the living room. The couch held its shape, a slight dip on one side, the blanket folded neatly, remote near the edge. Nothing changed. I stood there, not sitting, not reaching for anything, just looking. The room stayed quiet. The window reflected the hallway light, soft, flat. I turned, walked back to the kitchen, the same path, the same distance, the planner still closed, the phone still beside it. I didn't touch either, just stood there. For a second longer before moving again. The kitchen light had softened, not dim, just quieter. The edges of things less defined. The planner sat where I left it, closed. The pen across it, slightly off. I noticed, didn't fix it. My phone beside it, face down, still. The glass of water closer to the center now, a faint ring beneath it again. I didn't wipe it. I stood there, my hand resting lightly on the counter. Flat, then lifting, then still. From the hallway, nothing. No voice, no movement, no shift. Just the door, closed. The same. I turned, walked toward it. My steps slower now, not measured, just slower. I passed my office, still open, light steady. Then his, still closed, the same line underneath. I didn't stop, didn't slow further, just passed, into the living room. The couch unchanged, the blanket still slightly folded, remote near the edge. Nothing moved, nothing adjusted. I sat down, not at the edge, not fully in, somewhere in between. My hands rested on my lap, then one moved, adjusted the blanket once, then stopped, left a small fold. I didn't fix it. I leaned back. The cushion gave, then settled. The room stayed quiet, the TV still off. The hallway visible from the side. Both doors still there. Mine open, his closed. The same. I didn't turn, didn't focus, just let it stay there, part of the room. After a moment, I stood up, walked back into the kitchen. The planner still closed, the pen still across it, the phone still beside it. Nothing moved. I stepped closer. My hand hovered above the planner, not touching, just there, then lowered, rested lightly on the cover, then lifted again. I didn't open it. From the hallway, a faint sound. A chair, moving slightly. Then still. I paused. Not fully, just enough to notice. Then moved again. Back toward the hallway. My steps even, unhurried. I passed my door, still open, light steady. Then his, still closed, the same line underneath. I slowed, just slightly, not enough to stop, just enough to feel that I was passing it. Then kept walking, into my office. The chair still pulled out, the laptop closed, the screen dark. I stepped inside, then stopped. Didn't sit, didn't turn anything on, just stood. The light from the room stretched into the hallway, a soft line across the carpet. I stepped back out, left the door open, didn't reach for the handle, just left it. The light stayed, spilling out, unchanged. I walked back into the living room, sat down again, the same place, the blanket still uneven. I didn't fix it, just rested my hand there, then let it fall back to my lap. The house stayed quiet, room to room, sound to silence. The same pattern, the same distance. Nothing changed, nothing asked to. From the hallway, no sound, no voice, no typing, just the door, closed, still. I didn't look this time, just sat, then leaned back slightly more, let the cushion hold me. The room dim, the quiet steady, and I stayed there a second longer before standing again. The kitchen was dim now, not dark, just enough light from the hallway to reach the counter. The planner still closed, the pen still resting across it. Not straight. I didn't fix it. My phone beside it, face down, still. No buzz, no light. I didn't turn it over. The glass of water sat where I left it, the ring beneath it faint now. I didn't wipe it. I stood there, my hand resting lightly on the counter. Flat. Then lifting. Then still. The refrigerator hummed. Low. Steady. Then clicked. Then quiet again. I turned. Walked toward the hallway. My steps even, unhurried. I passed my office, still open, light steady. Then his, still closed. The same line underneath. I didn't stop, didn't slow, just passed. Into the living room. The couch unchanged. The blanket still slightly uneven. Remote near the edge. Nothing moved. Nothing adjusted. I sat down, further in this time, letting the cushion take my weight. My hands rested on my lap. Then one moved. Smoothed the blanket once, then stopped. Left a small fold. I didn't fix it. I leaned back. The room stayed quiet. The TV still off. The hallway visible from the side. Both doors still there. Mine open. His closed. The same. I didn't turn, didn't focus. Just let it stay there. Part of the room. After a moment, I shifted slightly. Not to get up, not to adjust. Just enough to feel where I was sitting. The space beside me stayed empty. I noticed it, the way it held, the way nothing filled it. My hand moved, rested on the cushion beside me, pressed down slightly, then released. The fabric rose back. No shape left, I didn't move my hand again. From the hallway, nothing. No voice, no typing, no movement. Just the door, closed, still. I didn't look this time, just sat. The quiet stayed, not waiting, not asking, just there. The house sounded the same as it always did. The refrigerator, a faint hum, then silence. The soft shift of air through the vents, then still. Nothing missing, nothing added. But I wasn't listening for anything anymore. Not for a voice, not for a step, not for my name. My hands stayed where they were, still. The blanket slightly uneven beneath them. I didn't fix it. I didn't reach for the remote. I didn't stand up. I just sat there, a second longer, then another. The hallway light was still on, not bright, not dim, just there. My office door still open, light spilling across the floor. A soft line stretching into the hallway. His door still closed. The same thin line underneath, unchanged. I stood in the kitchen, not close to the counter, not far from it, just in between. The planner stayed closed, the pen resting across it, slightly off. I didn't fix it. My phone beside it, face down, still. I didn't turn it over. The glass of water near the center, the faint ring beneath it barely visible now. I didn't move it. The refrigerator hummed, low, steady, then clicked, then quiet again. From somewhere in the house, a voice, faint, not clear enough to catch the words, just the shape of them. I heard it. I didn't answer right away. My hand rested lightly on the counter, flat, still. For a moment, nothing moved. Not the planner, not the phone, not the glass. The hallway stayed the same. My door open, his closed. The same line underneath, unbroken. I stood there, not waiting, not deciding, just there. The quiet held, even, complete. My hand stayed where it was, not lifting, not reaching, just resting. For the first time in a long time, there was nothing waiting inside my head. No list, no reminder, no next thing, just space. I stayed in it a second longer, then another.